Life will test you. Challenges will come. Pain is inevitable. But suffering, that's a choice. Everything you want, strength, discipline, resilience, begins in the mind. The Stoics knew this. They lived by it. And today you're going to learn 6 habits that will make you unbreakable. When you master them, nothing can shake you. No setback, no failure, no fear. You'll wake up each day with clarity, control, and the kind of power that can't be taken away. Imagine facing chaos with unshakable calm, turning obstacles into fuel, and never letting emotions control you. That's what Stoicism teaches. That's what these habits will give you. The world won't get easier, but you will get stronger. And once you understand this, you'll never see life the same way again. So stay with me till the end, because this isn't just another self-improvement video. This is a blueprint for mastering yourself, for building the kind of mindset that thrives under pressure. If you're ready to take control, if you're ready to stop being reactive and start being resilient, then hit that like button, subscribe, and let's begin. Because nothing can break you unless you let it. Number 1, embrace change and the unknown. Change is inevitable. The seasons shift, people enter and exit our lives, and the world moves forward, whether we're ready or not. Yet so many of us resist change, clinging to the familiar as if it could somehow shield us from the inevitable. But let me ask you this. Has holding on ever made life easier, or has it only made transitions more painful? We fear change because it unsettles us. It pulls us out of our comfort zones, disrupts our routines, and forces us to face uncertainty. It makes us question who we are and where we're headed. But here's the truth. Change is not your enemy. Resisting it is. The more you fight against reality, the more suffering you create for yourself. The ancient Stoics understood this well. They did not waste time wishing things were different. Instead, they trained their minds to adapt, to see every shift in life as an opportunity rather than a threat. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire during times of war, plague, and betrayal. He had every reason to complain, to ask, "Why is this happening to me?" But instead, he reminded himself, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In other words, the very obstacles we fear are often the things that move us forward, if we choose to work with them instead of against them. Think about your own life. When has something unexpected forced you to grow? Maybe it was losing a job, ending a relationship, or moving to a new place. At first, it may have felt overwhelming, even painful. You might have wished things had gone differently. But looking back, didn't that moment shape you into who you are today? The problem is that we often see the wisdom in change only after we've survived it. But what if we could shift our mindset while we're going through it? What if, instead of resisting, we asked, "What is this teaching me? How can I use this to my advantage?" The Stoics had a powerful phrase, amor fati, love your fate. Not just accept it, not just tolerate it, love it. Love the challenges, the unexpected detours, the struggles that push you beyond your limits. Because every change, no matter how difficult, is shaping you into someone stronger. Here's the key. Mentally strong people lean into discomfort. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't waste energy wishing for the past. They adapt. They adjust their sails to the winds of change rather than fighting the current. And in doing so, they remain steady, no matter how stormy life gets. But embracing change doesn't mean being passive. It doesn't mean surrendering to chaos without direction. It means actively choosing to see every challenge as an opportunity. It means responding, not reacting. It means understanding that while you don't control the winds, you do control how you navigate them. So the next time change comes knocking, and it will, pause. Don't react with fear. Instead, ask yourself, how can I use this? How can this moment, no matter how uncertain, make me wiser, stronger, better? Because when you stop resisting change, you start mastering it. And that is the mindset that will carry you through anything. Number 2, take control of your emotions. Don't let them control you. Have you ever let anger push you into an argument you later regretted? Or let fear hold you back from an opportunity that could have changed your life? We've all been there. Emotions are powerful. When left unchecked, they can cloud our judgment, dictate our actions, and even shape the direction of our lives. But here's the truth. Mentally strong people don't let emotions control them. They control their emotions. That doesn't mean they suppress what they feel. Stoicism isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about mastering your reactions. The Stoics understood that emotions themselves aren't the problem. It's how we respond to them that determines whether they strengthen us or break us. Marcus Aurelius put it best. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Think about the last time someone irritated you. Maybe it was a rude comment, an unfair criticism, or even a stranger cutting you off in traffic. What was your first instinct? To react? To lash out? That's what most people do, immediate, unfiltered reaction. But what if instead you pause for just a moment and ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Will this matter tomorrow? That small pause, that moment of awareness, is the difference between being ruled by your emotions and mastering them. Seneca, another great Stoic thinker, advised that when anger rises, we should wait before acting. He understood that the greatest remedy for anger is delay, because in the heat of the moment, we often make choices we later regret. And isn't that true? How many times have you said or done something in an emotional state only to wish you had handled it differently? The truth is, emotions are like the weather, unpredictable, ever-changing, and beyond our control. But just as a skilled sailor doesn't try to control the wind, we shouldn't try to suppress emotions. Instead, we must learn to navigate them. A sailor adjusts their sails, knowing that storms will pass. In the same way, mentally strong people acknowledge their emotions but refuse to let them steer the ship. Does this mean we should ignore how we feel? Not at all. The Stoics weren't about denying emotions, but about understanding them. When fear arises, ask yourself, what is this fear trying to teach me? When frustration builds, ask, what lesson is hidden here? Emotions can be teachers if we learn to listen without letting them take over. And here's where it gets powerful. Once you realize that you decide how to respond, nothing can shake you. Insults lose their sting. Failures become stepping stones. Unexpected events no longer throw you off course. Because you understand that your power lies not in controlling what happens, but in controlling your reaction. So the next time you feel anger, fear, or frustration rising, pause, take a breath. Remind yourself that you are in control. Your emotions do not define you. Your actions do. And the stronger your ability to manage your emotions, the stronger you become in every aspect of life. Number 3, set boundaries to protect your time and energy. Your time and energy are your most valuable resources, yet ironically, they are the easiest to give away. Every day demands pile up. Work needs your attention. Friends ask for favors. Family relies on your support. Social media constantly fights for a piece of your mind. Before you know it, you're stretched thin, drained, and left with nothing for yourself. But here's the truth. Mentally strong people don't let the world dictate where their energy goes. They set boundaries and protect their space because, in many ways, their peace depends on it. The Stoics understood this deeply. They believed that our most precious asset isn't wealth or status. It's our inner peace. Yet most of us give it away without a second thought. Seneca warned about this when he wrote, "People are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy." Think about that. If someone tried to take money from your pocket, you'd resist. But when people take your time, your most irreplaceable asset, you give it away freely. Why? Maybe it's guilt. Maybe it's the fear of disappointing others. Maybe it's the habit of always putting others first. But here's what you need to understand. Saying yes to everyone else all the time means saying no to yourself. And mentally strong people don't do that. They know that without clear boundaries, they will never have the time or energy to focus on what truly matters. Whether that's their goals, their health, or their peace of mind. So how do you start setting boundaries? 1. Recognize that it's not selfish, it's necessary. Saying no to something that drains you doesn't mean you don't care. It means you value yourself enough to protect your well-being. You wouldn't let someone walk into your home and destroy it, so why allow people to invade your mental space with negativity, unnecessary obligations, or distractions? 2. Understand that boundaries don't push people away. The right people respect them. Those who don't, they were never meant to have full access to you in the first place. As Marcus Aurelius said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. The people and energy you allow into your life shape who you become. If you surround yourself with constant stress, drama, and obligations that don't serve you, don't be surprised if you feel anxious, drained, or lost. 3. Identify what truly matters to you. What are your priorities? What fuels your energy instead of depleting it? Once you're clear on that, it becomes much easier to say no to anything that doesn't align with those values. Practice the art of saying no without over-explaining. You don't owe anyone a long justification for protecting your time. A simple, "I can't commit to that right now" is enough. 5. Let go of guilt. Protecting your energy isn't an act of selfishness. It's an act of self-respect. If you don't prioritize yourself, no one else will do it for you. At the end of the day, setting boundaries isn't about shutting people out. It's about ensuring you have enough energy for what truly matters. And when you stop saying yes to every demand and start saying yes to yourself, something incredible happens. You feel lighter, more focused, and more in control of your life. And that, my friend, is the foundation of true mental strength. Number 4, take responsibility for your actions. Life doesn't always unfold the way we want. We face setbacks, make mistakes, and sometimes find ourselves in situations that feel deeply unfair. In those moments, it's easy to blame circumstances, point fingers, or convince ourselves that we're just unlucky. But here's the hard truth. Mentally strong people don't waste time making excuses. They take full responsibility for their actions, their choices, and ultimately their lives. The Stoics understood this deeply. While we cannot always control what happens to us, we can always control how we respond. Epictetus put it best. We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. That's what real strength looks like. Owning your decisions, learning from your mistakes, and refusing to see yourself as a victim of life circumstances. Think about the most successful, resilient people you know. Do they sit around complaining about how unfair life is? Or do they take action, adjust, and find a way forward? The difference between those who grow and those who stay stuck isn't intelligence, talent, or luck. It's responsibility. When you own your actions, you take back your power. When you blame others, you give that power away. Now, taking responsibility doesn't mean being overly critical of yourself or drowning in guilt over past mistakes. That's not the point. The goal isn't self-punishment, it's self-improvement. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, believed that every failure is an opportunity for self-reflection. He advised that at the end of each day, we should review our actions and ask, what did I do well? What could I have done better? What will I improve tomorrow? That's how you grow, not by avoiding mistakes, but by using them as stepping stones. Here's a simple but powerful exercise. Think of a challenge you're facing right now. Maybe it's a financial issue, a relationship struggle, or a personal goal you haven't achieved yet. Instead of blaming external factors, ask yourself, what part of this is within my control? What actions can I take to improve this situation? It's a simple shift in mindset, but it changes everything. When you focus on what you can control, you move forward. When you focus on what's unfair, you stay stuck. The truth is, life will throw obstacles your way. You'll encounter difficult people, unexpected problems, and moments that test you. But the strongest people, the ones who truly thrive, don't waste energy complaining. They adapt. They take ownership. They look at every setback as a lesson, not a punishment. So the next time you catch yourself making an excuse, pause. Ask yourself, is this helping me or is it holding me back? Because at the end of the day, no one else is responsible for your success, your happiness, or your growth. That's on you. And once you fully embrace that truth, you become unstoppable. Number 5, practice self-compassion, not self-criticism. We are often our own worst critics. When we fail, fall short, or make mistakes, the voice inside our head can be ruthless. Why did I mess up again? I should be better. I'll never get this right. If someone else spoke to us this way, we wouldn't tolerate it. Yet we allow that harsh inner dialogue to run unchecked. But here's the truth. Mentally strong people don't tear themselves down. They practice self-compassion, not self-criticism. The Stoics understood human imperfection. They didn't expect themselves or anyone else to be flawless. Instead, they focused on progress, learning, growing, and improving. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, when you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. Now consider this. When a friend makes a mistake, what do you say? You encourage them, remind them they're human, and tell them to learn from it. So why don't we do the same for ourselves? Why do we hold ourselves to impossible standards, expecting perfection while readily accepting the flaws of others? Self-compassion isn't about making excuses. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you'd offer someone you care about. The truth is, you will make mistakes and you will have bad days. But beating yourself up doesn't make you stronger. It makes you hesitant, fearful, and full of doubt. The Stoics believe the mind is like a garden. What you plant is what grows. If you constantly feed it negativity, self-doubt will take over. But if you practice self-compassion, you create an environment where resilience, confidence, and self-respect can thrive. How to practice self-compassion. 1. Pay attention to your inner dialogue. When you catch yourself engaging in negative self-talk, pause and ask, would I say this to a friend? If not, don't say it to yourself. 2. Learn from mistakes instead of dwelling on them. Seneca wisely said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Every setback is shaping you into something stronger. Remember that. 3. Acknowledge that growth takes time. Wisdom, resilience, and strength don't appear overnight. Progress is slow, and that's okay, as long as you keep moving forward. 4. Reframe self-criticism into constructive thoughts. Instead of, "I should have done better," try, "I'm learning and improving." Instead of, "I always mess up," say, "This is a setback, not a defeat." At the end of the day, the strongest people aren't those who never fall. They're the ones who rise again and again without tearing themselves down in the process. That is the real power of self-compassion. Number 6, never stop learning and evolving. There is no finish line when it comes to growth. The moment you believe you've learned all there is to know, the moment you think you've reached your peak, is the moment you start to decline. Life never stands still. It's always moving, always changing. Those who refuse to learn, adapt, and evolve will eventually find themselves stuck, watching as the world passes them by. But mentally strong people understand something crucial. Growth is a lifelong process. There's no point at which you arrive. You keep learning, improving, and refining yourself until your very last breath. The Stoics lived by this principle. Marcus Aurelius, despite being the most powerful man in the world, never saw himself as above learning. Every day he read, wrote, and reflected, reminding himself of his own limitations and the vastness of what he did not know. He once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, challenges, failures, and setbacks are not obstacles. They are the very path to growth. Many people believe learning stops after school or once they reach a certain level of success. But the truth is, your ability to keep growing determines how far you go in life. The moment you stop seeking knowledge or stepping outside your comfort zone, you start to stagnate. And stagnation is worse than failure, because at least failure teaches you something. So how do you make lifelong learning a habit? 1. Develop intellectual humility. No matter how much you know, there is always more to learn. Seneca said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." 2. Embrace failure as part of the process. People who fear mistakes avoid the very experiences that teach them the most. Every failure holds wisdom, if you choose to see it. 3. Seek discomfort. Growth doesn't happen in routine. It happens in challenge, uncertainty, and the moments when you don't have all the answers. Epictetus taught that the mind should be trained like an athlete trains their body, through discipline, challenge, and continuous improvement. 4. Never let ego stop you from evolving. The wisest people don't assume they have it all figured out. They ask questions, listen more than they speak, and stay open to new perspectives. At the end of the day, life rewards those who are willing to adapt. The world changes, people grow, and those who refuse to evolve get left behind. But if you commit to learning, challenging yourself, and staying curious, you will never stop growing. And that, more than anything, is what keeps you strong. Knowledge alone isn't enough. You must live it, breathe it, and apply it every single day. So ask yourself, am I embracing change or resisting it? Am I in control of my emotions or letting them rule me? Am I protecting my time, owning my choices, and continuing to grow? Because in the end, strength isn't found, it's built. If this resonated with you, like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below with I Choose Growth, and stay tuned because the next step on your Stoic journey is just beginning.